think that when you're mocked so publicly as they've been, their value begins to nosedive pretty quickly. And I don't think they're finding any more sources of income. And with the stream of money they're spending on security, on mortgages, on just plain living, I think they can see the end of the road within 5 years at best. And they've got a real financial problem.
Meghan Markle felt humiliated on Prince Harry's most recent UK trip, and that the trip turned into a nightmare, forcing Markle and her children to return home to California earlier than they had hoped.
Tom Bower reveals why Meghan's humiliating 47-minute Highgrove visit turned into disaster. The world thought they were coming for a reconciliation, but what happened behind the closed gates of Highgrove was nothing short of a nuclear explosion. 47 minutes. That is all it took for Meghan Markle's carefully crafted plan to seize back her royal status to go up in flames. We have just received a devastating report from Tom Bower, the man the Sussexes fear the most, and what he has revealed is enough to send shivers down the spine of the entire British monarchy. Meghan Markle didn't just leave Highgrove, she fled. She fled in tears, in fury, and in a state of total, soul-crushing humiliation. This wasn't a family reunion, it was a controlled execution of a legacy. Tom Bower has exposed the hidden witness, who sat in that room, the specific demands Meghan made that were laughed out of the palace, and a terrifying warning to King Charles that could change the line of succession forever. Why did the meeting end in a disaster so total that Meghan allegedly ordered the private jet to be fueled before the 40th minute was even over? What did King Charles say that finally broke the Duchess of Sussex? And why is Tom Bower saying the Sussexes have exactly 5 years left before total financial ruin? Stay tuned, because the details of this 47-minute nightmare are more shocking than any fiction. You are not going to believe who was waiting for Meghan in that drawing room, and you certainly won't believe the final words Charles spoke to his son before the doors were slammed shut. The mask hasn't just slipped, guys, it has been torn off. To understand the sheer magnitude of the Highgrove disaster, we have to look at the desperation that led them there. For years, Harry and Meghan have tried to build an empire in Montecito. We saw the Netflix series, we heard the spare bombshells, we saw the Spotify deal. But lately, the silence has been deafening, and the bank accounts. They are reportedly screaming. Tom Bower, the legendary investigative biographer, has been tracking their every move, and his latest intelligence is grim. The American Riviera Orchard brand. A non-starter. The Hollywood elite. They've turned their backs. The Sussexes found themselves in a corner. They realized that without the royal brand, they are just another couple with a high mortgage and a security bill that would make a small country go bankrupt. Bower reveals that the Invictus Games rehearsal in Birmingham was merely a Trojan horse. Harry and Meghan didn't care about the games, they cared about the re-entry. They needed a photo. They needed a handshake. They needed to show the world that they were still royal adjacent to save their dying business ventures. But King Charles is not the same man he was 2 years ago. Dealing with his own health battles and the weight of the crown, his patience has evaporated. Bower suggests that Charles saw the Sussex strategy from a mile away. They wanted to reverse Meghan. They wanted the perks, the protection, and the prestige, without any of the service. The tension between the Sussexes and the palace has reached a boiling point. Prince William and Catherine have reportedly made it clear, if Harry and Meghan are in, they are out. The king was caught between his son and his heir. The stage was set for a confrontation that would either heal the rift or burn the bridge to ashes. Meghan supposedly arrived in the UK with a list of demands, a manifesto of return, believing she held all the cards because of the grandchildren. She thought the king would crumble at the sight of Archie and Lilibet. Oh, how wrong she was. Tom Bower's sources claim that the palace had been preparing for this ambush for weeks. This wasn't going to be a tea party. It was going to be a trial. Now, let's get into the heart of the scandal. The arrival. Meghan Markle didn't just show up at Highgrove, she expected a red carpet. According to leaked reports from insiders close to the household, Meghan had sent an advance requirement list. She wanted a suite at Buckingham Palace, she wanted state-funded security to be reinstated immediately, and she wanted a private, one-on-one clearing of the air with King Charles, no staff, no witnesses. But as the SUV pulled up to the gates of Highgrove, the first blow was dealt. The invitation to stay at Buckingham Palace. Withdrawn. At the very last second. Imagine the scene, Meghan, packed for a royal residence, being told she had to find her own accommodation, or stay in a controlled guest wing. The humiliation started before she even unbuckled her seatbelt. But that's not the twist. When Harry and Meghan were finally ushered into the King's private study, Meghan was prepared to lead the conversation. She had her talking points ready. She was going to talk about healing and collaboration. But as the door swung open, she froze. Sitting there, right next to King Charles, wasn't a sympathetic aide. It was Queen Camilla. And she wasn't holding tea. She was holding a notebook. Meghan's face reportedly went ashen. This was the first major twist that turned the meeting into a disaster. The king had refused to meet them alone. By bringing Camilla into the room, he sent a message: "I don't trust you." Camilla was there as the watcher, the witness, who would ensure that Harry and Meghan couldn't go to Oprah or Gayle King and twist the words of a sitting monarch. The atmosphere was so cold it could have cracked stone. Harry tried to break the ice, but the king remained formal. There were no hugs. No grandpa moments. Just a 47-minute countdown. Meghan allegedly felt like she was being interrogated rather than welcomed. When she brought up the financial difficulties and the need for a hybrid role, the king's response was a single, devastating sentence that Tom Bower says left Meghan speechless. He reportedly told her, "The Crown does not negotiate with celebrities." Can you imagine? The Duchess being told she's just a celebrity. The first twist was just the beginning. The nightmare was about to become a full-blown catastrophe. But wait, it gets worse. Much, much worse. As the 47 minutes ticked away, the conversation shifted to the children. We've all heard the rumors that the Sussexes use Archie and Lilibet as leverage. Well, according to Tom Bower's latest update, Meghan attempted to play her final card. She suggested that if their security wasn't restored, she wouldn't feel safe bringing the grandchildren to the UK ever again. She expected Charles to break. He's a grandfather, right? He's facing health challenges. Surely he wants his family close. But here is the shocking reveal that has sent shockwaves through the royal press corps. King Charles didn't beg. He didn't plead. Instead, he signaled to an aide, who brought in a document. It was a briefing on the Sussexes' recent quasi-royal tours and their failing business deals. Charles reportedly looked Harry in the eye and revealed he knew everything. He knew they weren't there for him. He knew they were there for the cameras. The king revealed that he had been advised by the highest levels of the UK government that granting them working royal status, or IPIP security, was legally impossible and politically suicidal. He told them that the Sussex brand was now considered a liability to the monarchy. Meghan realized at that moment that she wasn't just being denied a job, she was being blacklisted. But the real nuclear reveal from Bower is this. Tom Bower claims that Charles issued a final warning regarding their titles. He made it clear that any further public attacks, any more leaks to the American press, or any attempt to monetize this specific meeting would result in the nuclear option, the formal request to Parliament to strip them of their ducal titles once and for all. Meghan was reportedly seen shaking with rage. She realized the king was no longer playing defense. He was on the offensive. The meeting didn't end with a "we'll talk soon." It ended with the king standing up, thanking them for their time, and walking out, leaving them in the room with Camilla, who simply closed her notebook and smiled. 47 minutes. The dream of a royal return died in under an hour. The fallout from this 47-minute disaster has been like a tidal wave hitting social media. Highgrove horror and Meghan fled are trending globally. The internet is absolutely divided, and the vitriol is reaching a fever pitch. One insider tweet that has gone viral, allegedly from a palace staffer, says, "The Duchess's heels couldn't hit the gravel fast enough. I've never seen a departure that looked more like a retreat." The public reaction is brutal. On one side, the Sussex squad is screaming setup and betrayal. They are claiming that the king lured them there just to humiliate Meghan. But the majority of the public, they are praising the king's iron fist. Take a look at these leaked celebrity reactions. Rumor has it that even their Hollywood friends are distanced themselves. An unnamed A-list producer allegedly texted a prominent journalist saying, "If they can't even get a cup of tea at Highgrove without being kicked out in 47 minutes, how are they going to get a green light in Hollywood? They are toxic." Even the industry giants like Netflix are reportedly monitoring the situation with concern. If the Sussexes lose their royal connection, their value drops to zero. The debate is raging on every talk show from London to New York. Is Charles being a cruel father, or is he being a strong king? The division is causing a PR nightmare for the Sussexes. They expected to come back to California as reconciled royals, but instead, they are returning as rejected outcasts. And don't even get me started on the British press. The headlines tomorrow are going to be blood-curdling. Tom Bower's phone hasn't stopped ringing. Every news agency wants a piece of the 47-minute disaster. The narrative has shifted. It's no longer about Harry and Meghan's truth, it's about their irrelevance. You think that's the end of the story? You think a 47-minute meeting and a snub from the king is as bad as it gets? Think again. Tom Bower has dropped one final, bone-chilling revelation that we are just now processing. According to Bower, as Meghan was leaving, she made a phone call. Not to a friend, not to her lawyer, but to a high-powered PR agency in the US that specializes in crisis management and scorched earth campaigns. The final twist. Bower hints that Meghan has a dossier of her own. A Highgrove diary she's been keeping. He warns that if the king doesn't back down on the security issue within the next 30 days, Meghan is prepared to release unfiltered reflections on her time in the UK that would make the Oprah interview look like a fairy tale. But here is the cliffhanger that has everyone paralyzed with fear. Tom Bower says that King Charles knew she would do this. And he's already one step ahead. There is a secret legal mechanism involving the children's titles and their place in the line of succession that Charles is prepared to trigger. Bower's urgent warning to the king is this: do not blink. If you blink now, the monarchy falls. If you stand firm, they disappear. The meeting at Highgrove wasn't the end of the war. It was the declaration of it. As we speak, Harry and Meghan are reportedly on their way back to Montecito, and the fury Meghan felt at Highgrove is being channeled into something dark. What is in that scorched earth plan? What did Harry say to William in a leaked text just minutes after the meeting? And what is the 30-day countdown that Tom Bower is terrified of? This is far from over. In fact, the real disaster is only just beginning. Guys, we are witnessing the total collapse of a royal era. Tom Bower has blown the lid off the most embarrassing 47 minutes in modern history. But I want to hear from you. Was King Charles right to bring Queen Camilla as a witness? Was 47 minutes too long, or not long enough? Is Meghan Markle truly blacklisted from the royal family forever, or does she have one more trick up her sleeve? Drop a comment below right now. I read every single one of them. Do you think the Sussexes can survive another 5 years, Or is Tom Bow right that the end of the road is here? If you want the absolute latest updates on the 30-day countdown and the Scorched Earth dossier, you must subscribe and hit that notification bell. We are tracking this story hour by hour. Don't miss our next video, where we reveal the secret audio that allegedly leaked from the Highgrove hallway. You won't believe what was overheard. Like this video if you think the king should stand firm. Share this with everyone who needs to know the truth about the Highgrove.